Welcome to Healing Forward. I'm Erica. Let's talk about something that's hard for the average person to fathom. The Bible tells us to rejoice in our sufferings. Romans 5:3-5 says that suffering produces endurance, endurance produces character, and character produces hope. Now let's be honest. Rejoice. When you're hurting, when you're suffering, when you're going through something painful, the last thing you may feel like doing is rejoicing. But why does God tell us to rejoice? Because there's something being produced in you. Suffering produces endurance, endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And that hope is not empty hope. It's a dependable hope rooted in God's love. Oh my, God's love. Wow. See, one of the ways you can discover the depth of God's love is right there in the middle of your suffering. Not because God enjoys seeing you hurt, but because when you're in a place where you can't depend on yourself or others, you can discover that you can depend on Him. Sometimes pain reveals the love you didn't know was there. Sometimes suffering becomes the place where you encounter God in a way you never would have known Him otherwise. So maybe the question isn't always, how do I escape pain? Maybe sometimes we need to ask, God, what are you producing in me through this? Because what hurts today may be developing something in you that you need tomorrow. Before you go, remember, we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. Romans 5:3-4. If you're suffering today, don't believe that your pain is meaningful. And what I mean by that is when I was suffering, or that moment, that period when my son had passed away and my entire family walked out on me and left me at the funeral home. And I shared that in my last video for some of you that may have not watched it, but you can go back to that, but I'll elaborate more on it. So when my 12-year-old son had passed away, I had nothing. And when I mean I had nothing, I had nothing. Me and their father had just separated. So it was me and my 4 boys. 5. Yeah, I had 5 boys at the time. So me and my 5 boys. So I thought that at least I would have my family, my siblings. Well, that was just what I thought. I thought that they would be in my corner. But they wasn't. They left me